Okay, I figured I'd go live just to hang out. Um, I have a lot of cleaning up to do here, so why not? We can chat. You guys can chat. I know a lot of you guys like chatting, whether I'm doing something or not. So, anybody that sees the live stream in the future, basically the live chat is going to be where it's at. Um, yeah. 3 people. Who's hanging out? James made it. Good. Yeah, James, I'm waiting for my little dispensation. Maybe Monday. Then I'll place the order, and then whenever that order comes in, we'll get that new clutch cover, and then we'll ship that on down to you. Either that, or I might just wait. Old Trip, building a monster and checking things out. Welcome. Or maybe I'll wait. Yeah, maybe I'll wait to ship it until after, race day. So, Old Trip, what are you building? Still 038, 52-minute piston. China doll. Okay. Some people love their 038s. Some people love them. Can't say I've actually ever run one. I'll bring you guys up here. That way, as I'm kind of cleaning up, we can chat. Built the TS400 with the demo, so okay, good. Old Trip, do you have a set of my tools? The crank tools? If you have any trouble pulling together crankcases, then my crank tools are the ticket. I don't know if you've put together crankcases. Hey, Ken. Ken, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know what happened. I didn't get notifications, and I've had some. Well, I was up late last night watching, Avengers. I went out to see Avengers, and in case anybody's wondering, it was as billed. I mean, it really was probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Yeah, Old Trip. If you don't have a set of tools, here, let me. I'm going to put my email on here. You can email me. They're literally just for putting crankcases together. Obviously, get rid of the ampersands there, but the tools are just for putting crankcases together. That's all they're for. But since that tends to be tricksy for a lot of people, and kind of unsafe and all that stuff, you can do it with my tools, and it's completely safe for the bearings, and it's all at room temperature. So. Yes. Yeah. I'm live. I'll be up in a minute. Are you headed out? Okay. Three hours, no break. Yeah, I didn't need to go last night. I did pretty good. Best movie for reals, or you get out to the movies a lot? I've seen a lot of movies. I don't think it's likely, probably in the next 20 or 30 years, we will see the equivalent of this movie. And the reason for the Avengers, and the reason is just because it's the culmination of so much. And they did such a nice job with it. It was fun, it was happy, it was sad, it was, everything. It just funny, and really everything the fans could have hoped for, I think. I'm not a huge fan, but I really was, I think, as good as it could have possibly been. The only thing I might say is that they had a hard time fitting into 3 hours everything they needed to fit. I'll just say that. So I definitely think that it was a very unique movie, and it was very significant in movie history, just because it was literally the culmination of years of work and the timelines, and they got all the characters together. Maybe not all of them, but darn close. It was. They had a lot of characters that spanned many years and many different films, and they just packed everything into one and did a nice job of it. So yes, Old Trip, will it work on your China doll? Absolutely. Use the table press, push out the China doll bearings. Yes, if you want to replace them with better bearings, then that's great. Once you have the bearings put in the case, then can you share your group? I guess. I don't know. What does that mean? So yeah, once the bearings are in the case halves, you grab my tools and just pull the crank together, and then the case halves together with the tool. It's real easy. See, I'm not a comic book fan. That's not me. I've never been into comics. I know that there are a lot of guys. Hey, Jesse. I know that there are a lot of people that are into it, but that's not me. I don't think I'll ever get into that. I don't know. My interest level is just not there. But I do think that this movie did such a great job with basically everything. I thought it was really fun to go see it, and I got to see it last night, late night, with some friends, and that was fun. Never a big Captain Marvel fan. The villain is the Blues. Now, I didn't see Captain Marvel yet. I did see the Endgame here before I saw Captain Marvel, but so I have not seen that yet. I did like Captain Marvel in this movie. Well, okay, tools. Well, let's show you the tools, and then you can decide here. Let me break out this stuff. What saws do you want to work on is the real question. That's the main question here, is what saws do you feel like working on? This is supposed to be cleanup, not sell tools day, you know? That's okay, it's okay. So, I'm just going over tools for old Trip here. So, basically you've got what I consider quote unquote the main kit, which is not everything, it's just the main kit. This will cover about 90% of the chainsaws that people are rebuilding. And if you haven't seen my other videos, you can go check out my other videos. You get an idea of what this will do. I'm not an octane booster guy. I'm not an oil guy, gasoline guy. Not me. I don't have opinions on that. A lot of debate. Not interested in it. But what I am interested in is putting crankcases together. So you have effectively the flywheel side rod is generally two different threads on flywheels. The most common flywheel side threads on cranks are M8 by 1 and M10 by 1. So this threaded rod covers that. So that covers most of the flywheel sides with the exception of the 242 XP. So if you don't put 242 XPs, then, you know. So yeah. Anyway, you then have the three main sizes, M10, M12, and M14 for clutches. Between Stihl and Husqvarna, Dolmar, all those saws mainly have three, basically either M12, M10, M14 in various thread sizes on the clutches. So you get 6 different sizes, and that will cover like 90% of the saws that you need to cover. $50mm piston, 10mm pin. That, I think the 268s are 12mm. Yeah, the 268s are 12mm. I don't know a whole lot of 10mm pins. But anyway, so here you've got essentially what you need to pull a crankcase together. So you have a large and a small sleeve, and I gotta deburr these, but so this should essentially, when it's deburred, it should just fall through. But the idea is that you grab the crank, and then as the sleeve goes over it, you run a nut down on here, and as the sleeve goes over it, it pulls the crank through the bearing, and the sleeve only engages the inner race of the bearing, so it's completely safe for the bearing at room temperature. So I don't know, do you have, if you have crankcases you need to put together, then this will put a crankcase together. 10mm pins. I want the largest piston I can find with a 10mm pin. That I can't answer for you. Pretty sure the 357 and 359 are like 48mm. If they were 47 or 48mm, I don't know about a 50mm piston. I don't know if an 036 comes in like a 50mm big bore or something like that you can find. Anyway, so if something like this helps you out, then a main kit, nuts, washers, handles, all that stuff that also goes with this. You can look at my other videos. A main kit like this shipped to the lower 48 is $170. And yes, this will absolutely put together an 038. Well, Old Trip, you can use Husky pistons in steels, assuming you get all the numbers and everything right, and vice versa. Um, it depends on what you're doing, you know. You know, you have to check piston, you know, pin to crown height, skirt length, all that other stuff. But you know, there's always possibility of mixing pistons. Morning, Jesse. How we doing? So actually, There's a couple of videos ago. I did a live stream on a 268 Old Trip, so you can look at that and how I put the crankcase together. I can literally do it, and I had a messy bench at the time, but I can literally put the crankcase together in midair. Just boom, 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 and it goes together. Once you get the crankcase together, if you can make that one for the China doll, I know a lot of people like it. A 50 millimeter, 50 millimeter piston. I'm not in the business of making pistons. If that's what you're asking for. I'm not dodging you about the stickers. How many stickers you want? T-minus 5 hours and counting. Go, 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 go. 50 stickers? Well, now I gotta order more because this is all I got left. I'll see how much 50 stickers would be. TS4 had a 10 millimeter pin, but the stroke is only 34. So the space here. Why not just rebore a piston bigger? Or do something funny with the pin. I don't know. There's all kinds of different stuff you could do. I'm supposed to be cleaning up. Supposed to be cleaning up around here. How about just the one for just the steel? I don't have an 038 specific kit. That's the problem. I have a few specific kits for. I have one for a 660. The 660 specific kit is a rod with a clutch and a flywheel that is compatible with 660, large sleeve, and nuts and washers and a handle, and that is $60 shipped. If you're doing 660s, I have not made an 038 specific tool. There just hasn't been demand for it, and getting these machined really is not cheap. So I have to get them machined in significant quantity, and that also means that I'm out piles of money. So just to give you an idea, you know. So I'm out all kinds of money to get that done, and that's just one size. Yeah, so if you're doing the 440s, you need the basically you need the full kit because the flywheel side on the 440s is different. It's M8 instead of M10. I think the 038 is M10. So you need the flywheel rod, and the 440 I think is M12. So you definitely need that also. You know, whether you need the M10 rod or not is a little debatable. You probably need the small sleeve for 440. Old Trip, understand that this stuff gets all kinds of complicated in a huge hurry. And I spent an excessive amount of time getting this together as a kit so that it would be more or less as reasonably priced and also universally acceptable. Um, I don't know how to put it other than that because if you want to do like if you wanted to get rid of a rod, that's fine. I'll ship the kit for 150, but um, you know, with missing your M10 rod. But if you want to do the smaller steels, now you need like an 026. Now you need the M10 rod, and now you're back up to 170 anyway. So with as many saws as you want to do, this is the ticket, and it is absolutely guaranteed that this will put a smile on your face. £55,000 empty. Wow. Kellerview Lake Sacagawea. Guaranteed, Mike. Although putting a smile on your face is kind of hard, Mike, but you know. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the presence of greatness. The almighty Q has shown up for a Sunday morning cleaning. I use Euler's sleeve right now, and I rather have a real bearing Gretchen pin. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry. You should get back to work, Mike. The almighty Q and I went to, another friend, Dave, went to see the Avengers last night, so. So late. Oh, yes. Oh, it was late. But it was worth it. I didn't know how worth it would be, but it was definitely worth it. Thanks, Mike. You take care. Get some rest this afternoon. One of the other builders builds 660. I don't. Who are you talking about? One of the other builders? What other builder? I built a 660. You can see all the videos. What's the difference between a 440 and a 38? A lot. And I'm not a steel guy, so I'm not hugely into all that stuff. But there are a lot of differences between a 440 and a 38. They are very different chainsaws. $600 worth of spacers, dude. You're doing something well beyond. I don't know what you're going for, but $500 a cut. What are you doing? .6 millimeters off the bottom of the crankcase or the head. 6 millimeters. About that. Okay. About 1/4 inch. You can always remove some off the crankcase too, instead of doing it all off the base of the head. If you're trying to, squish that cylinder down. So, if you're removing some off here, if you remove too much, this gets too thin. So what you do is you remove 50 or 100 thousandths off of here if you want to, and then remove the rest off the crankcase. I can trade you an engine for a kit, but I don't need an engine. I'm not doing builds that much. I don't really. Don't necessarily need a another project. I have to sell an engine or a bike. Okay. Actually, James, I gotta find an appropriate box to put all your chains in. Oh, heck, what else am I doing here? Today's supposed to be cleanup day. I'm supposed to be, going through all this stuff. I didn't get Ken's notification earlier, so I didn't get notified of the chat, which is why I wasn't there. Yeah, organizing is more like it, Jesse. Not really cleaning. You know. 272 stuff. I think I'm pretty good with 272 stuff. Mac 125. Go to car chat and minutes. Cool with pedal bike. See, I think that a lot of stuff. One thing that I tend to look for is like parts availability. So I probably wouldn't use a Mac 125 on a go-kart. You know what I mean? If you could get a Husky 3120, that would be different. Or better yet, less power, but you use a 394 and or 395 rather. 395 you can get even aftermarket heads, you know. So that would be kind of like the ideal thing to use. Lots of stuff to bring upstairs. Old moped with pedal start. Is it two-stroke, James? Alright, so I think all my 272 stuff now can go back out to the shed. Won't need that. Moto Guzzi. Gotta organize everything. I keep using this stuff, you know, outside or whatever, and I throw it all back in here and don't get it organized. That's not good. Buried somewhere out in the shop. Here. Everybody's always losing their 10mm sockets. Guess what? I still got mine. All kinds of other randomness in here. Wait till after the get-together, ship everything once. Okay. Is the 036 saw still running? I have no idea. I would say officially I didn't really even get it running. I just did the build and sent it. I was honestly not very happy with the saw, which wasn't the reason I got rid of it, but I was not super impressed with that build. Well, 13 should be on my thing there. Alright, I think I'll leave the rest of this. Chainsaw parts. Half-inch breaker bar, which doesn't belong in here. Put that down there for now. Yeah, it was frustrating. But you know, I think part of it was I didn't know what I didn't know what I was doing. You know, there's definitely that. I didn't understand the build, and you know, if stuff isn't intuitive to me, then you struggle for a bit. And eventually, if it's really not intuitive, or they could have made it easier, then I have to sit there and curse somebody out. You know. Worse, it makes it harder when you're editing a video, because editing in and out stuff that is good and isn't good and all that stuff takes even more time. You know, that's hard. It just is. Working on things here until things start making a little more sense. Well, a lot of the rubber pieces that were on there were just annoying. You know? like, well, why does this not go in a little smoother or whatever? In some places, you know, Husky really has it down. In others, they don't. In some places, Steel has a pretty nice design. In others, they don't. I think I sucked up something in the vacuum that would probably be a good thing to retrieve. Got it. Cool. Found it. Sorry about the vacuum. Just spring. I believe that's a carburetor spring. And actually, you're driving a truck, Jesse, so no, I am not sorry about waking you up. You're supposed to be awake, you know? Carburetor parts. There we go. Boom, done. Ah, cool. Okay. I don't know where to put this. Hang on. Never mind me, I'm just down here picking up stuff that, you know. A while ago everything kind of fell down, so now I'm just picking it up. My kids brought a bunch of sticks in here that I don't need. Sorry. I'll throw these upstairs. Okay. Wife can't see me, so it's time for a nip of brandy. Good. Sitting in a truck most of my day. Actually drive 3 hours daily. Okay. See, I am not a brandy guy, nor am I a cigar guy. Not me. I think it's time to do some cleaning here, you know? Get rid of some stuff. Hey, look, I found a piece of 50 grit. That's kind of used. Let's throw it out. Yuck. You know? I got my bucket of water here, which I haven't used in a while. I think I'm going to heave-ho this. Just because I don't use it. Here's something interesting. Found that old gasket here. James, this is the original one from your saw. Dirty. Go put that with the parts. On the off chance I need it. Yeah, but I need the old parts, James. That's the thing. I can just put this with my bucket of parts. And then for the next time around, if some dumb thing don't fit, I've got it, right? if you have use for it, that's something different. But I have a whole pile of parts that I can just stick this in and use it later if need be as a backup. So yeah, if you have use for it, I will include it. If you don't have use for it, then I will put it in my pile of parts, and it's more likely to get used in my pile of parts than it is in yours. That would be my guess. Yes, I know you're a hoarder. I know. One day I need to clean and sand this floor. Hit it with the clean strip, strip it down. Sand and wash it. And paint it. We hurl it some way. My grandfather used to tell me, don't collect. Can't help it. Can't help it. Just can't. What else have I got here? Speaking of collect, so here's the bucket of 288 parts. I bought all these in anticipation of getting the specific saw that I ordered. Let me go upstairs and do, looks like we're buffering. Hang on. Buffering? Hang on. Yeah, so here's the pile of 288 parts that I got. And that 288 is still in limbo. So all this might be useless. Not useless, but obviously exceptionally premature. Super sweet new decal. I don't know. New starter parts. I don't. What am I going to do with it? That 288 doesn't show up. 54 millimeter. 54 millimeter. Put the garbage into there. Chainsaw stuff there. We're actually getting floor space here in the basement. Amazingly. Put all this packing stuff in one spot rather than on the floor, you know. There we go. Now we have floor space. More when we started. Right, I've got a box of stuff here. What is this for? I think this is for Ryan. What are these? Those are 372 rods. These are 372 specific rods. Put that here. Might as well label that. Rods. Good. These are 200T parts that are for somebody else, but we're out of Ryan. Not that he's going to want these, but whatever. Still owe them to him. Bring those out to the shed. I can actually walk in the basement now. This is amazing. I'm not sure I want to eBay the parts. You know, I'm just not sure. A lot of it actually comes from HL Supply, so they'd probably give me store credit back if I really wanted to ship it back. I think Bruce would be cool with that, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. But then again, if that saw doesn't show up, what use do I have for it? I'm eventually going to get my money back for sure. So you better get on the stick getting some new sleeves. It's a little low. Okay. Put that in the fireplace. The power inverter is gone. So the power inverter is an interesting story. The inverter is back in the seller's hands. The argument was that the seller had put insurance on it, and basically between the back and the forth emails between me and the seller was basically saying, "Don't worry, you'll get your money. It was insured." And the implication there is that he's not going to give me my money back, that the shipping company is going to give me my money. And as it turns out, he's wrong, because eBay forced him to give me my money back, and he will be collecting the insurance, whatever that is, plus or minus. He will be collecting the insurance money from the carrier. So, the wrinkle that I ran into was originally it was supposed to be inspected here, not shipped back. It was supposed to be inspected, but one day UPS just came and literally picked it up. Instead of picking it up and going to an inspection center, they picked it up and for some dumb reason ended up shipping it back to the seller. The seller then refused it and supposedly called UPS, and supposedly they agreed to send it to an inspection place, and then it shows up on my doorstep. So obviously they didn't do that. So I don't know why they didn't do that, but it ended up back on my doorstep, and I eventually called eBay, and I'm like, what's the deal? And they said, nope, just ship it back. Ship it back to the seller. We'll have you print out a return label. You don't owe anything. So I printed out a return label, brought it down to the post office instead of UPS, went to the post office because that's what the eBay label was for. Brought it down to the post office, gave it to the post office, didn't owe them anything, walked out. It got shipped out to the seller, and then I was told by eBay that as soon as the seller accepts it, I get my money back. So guess what didn't happen? The seller didn't accept it. Hi, Hybrid. So the seller didn't accept it, and it ended up either their mailbox was full or the item was too heavy or whatever. So they left a note telling the seller to go down to the post office. And I'm like, well, holy cow, there's a loophole. What if the seller doesn't accept it and then it comes back again? So I called eBay again. I actually talked to them, and they said, no, we're just going to rule this case in your favor right now. You'll have your money within 48 hours or whatever. And whether the seller accepts it or not, you're getting your money back. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So a few days later, I saw that the seller did, in fact, get the item delivered. So he's got it. I'm getting my money back one of these days from eBay, which is fine. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to do. So no, I have not done anything in the meantime. I have not gotten another power inverter. I would like to. I don't know if I will or not, because $1,500 is a little steep, but who knows? I really do need it. It would be really nice to have it. Hybrid Woodworks. What's going on? You still out getting wood? There's all kinds of wood around here, man. Yeah, it's just trees that they've gone and done everywhere. So, man, I am actually getting floor space here, which I think is pretty darn cool. But I need other space. You guys want to see something funny? my dental school stuff. I have a tackle box here that they got us in dental school, or that we had to get. Basically, they suggested a tackle box. Yep, looks like my teeth. That's what you start learning on. You have to drill out teeth in a block. Layered. And I have no use for this stuff. I haven't touched this in an eon. What am I going to do with it? Don't really need it to take up space. And all these teeth, all the fake Ivorine teeth, these are worth a couple of bucks a shot. Hybrid, you're welcome to stop by. When's good? You want to come by it now? Come by now. Come clean my shop. No. You sold that much in the toolkits. Like James wants to buy some stuff as well. I've sold over 200. I've sold to over 200 people at this point. So quite a bit of selling. Not much in the last few weeks. I've had a few emails. Nobody's bought in the last few weeks, but I've had a few emails. Supposedly, I have one guy that's going to be buying. It's already packed up. I packed it up for him the other day. You guys saw that. Hybrid, shoot me an email. And then I'll give you my cell phone. Had some walnut milled 2 years ago, stacked in a barn. It's looking good. Yeah, you got to keep it there for like 50 years. And then it'll be worth gold. Beautiful. Or almost as much as shiny stuff will be worth, you know. Should just go up to the dental school and sell this to somebody. I don't know. Hot plate for wax. This is just one of those dumb things that I'm going to have for like 50 years, and I'll look back and be like, why did I keep that? You know? Oh, it'll be worth something in 3 years. There's no question about it. But, you know, it'd be worth a lot more. 50. Imagine carrying this dumb thing around dental school. I did. Nice divider. Miltex divider. Cut dividers. Actually, it just should be one of those dumb things that stick out in the shed. So let's do that. I don't need it down here. That way I can stick all this other stuff. Yeah, James, just so you know, in case you haven't seen. Actually, there's a few things I need to, I do need to include with your saw. Some nice top cover bolts. That's fine. Perfect. Those will do. Yeah, these are better. I'll just throw those in. $2.15 a good time? Yeah, it's fine. Actually, $40 is probably a deal. You know, I don't know. You don't want dental stuff, James. And this stuff is not useful. If you're a dental student, then you know it might be okay. You know. It's these type of screws that are, you know, a box like that with bolts in it like crazy from Husky and Steel. That's worth money. This is worth a lot of money. And as I go, it gets more and more organized, at least theoretically. All right. Some stickers for James, your bolts, and I gotta get a new spark plug on that 268, so I'll do that. Send me an email as well. Okay. Yeah, 215 is fine. If you want to just drop by 215, let's do that. Come in the driveway and honk, and I'll get off live. I'll meet you out in the shed. As will bring this stuff to James out there too. Actually, what helps me out is getting rid of those chains. I'll tell you what. That's one less thing on my plate, which is nice. Here. Nice. 32. Small and large rods. There. I just need to figure out what to do with those two. We are closer here. That's good. Actually, what do I want to get rid of? Got a couple highway cylinders here that I gotta get rid of. These are these. These are the open port 44 millimeter highway heads. I don't need. I'm never going to use them. Actually, you know what? I'll bring these to the get together. I'll give these to Ken. That way, if he ends up with anything that he really needs to repower for very little money, then he can use these. Hey, Tim. Take care, Jesse. Take care, James. Alright, and these go to the get-together. Should make up a box for, like, get-together stuff. I have a box for that. Great. Oh, God. Keeps raining, Tim. Yes. Keeps raining. There is no end to that. I'm just cleaning up here. Just some general cleanup. Nothing exciting. And actually, oh, Craig, too many projects. Is Craig on right now? Did Craig show up? This is funny. For that 360 giveaway saw, no Craig, too many projects. I wrote it right down. This was actually like my notes for the 360 giveaway. It says specifically, no Craig, too many projects. And of course, Craig's name was the first one I pulled out of the hat. He was so pissed at me. The saw deals that Ken got, I think, were pretty good. More stuff to bring to the get together here. Get together ribbons. Nikki's here. Hey, Nikki. Just so everybody knows, I got Hybrid Woodworks is showing up here in a few minutes. So I'm literally just cleaning Nikki and doing some randomness around here. This is feeling much better. I can actually walk around in my basement now. Yes, I'm in pajamas. I went out to see Avengers Endgame last night, so I'm a little, chilled out. I went late. I didn't get back till nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. Which I think we left the theater at nearly 2 o'clock. So it's totally worth it. 100%. Absolutely, positively worth it. Oh, good. I was planning on post another with back together idling and good. Curry post is a long one, but it's good. Hungover more or less. Ooh, ooh. Edward. Okay, Ed. There's his cell phone. I received a store credit. Okay, good. What in the world is going on with my phone here? Okay. You waited up till 3 a.m. for Ken. Diehards for Ken. Wow. Good for him. Jeez. For the heck of it. Ed's coming over a little bit, but. I don't even know if dismantling this Volvo PEM is possible. It looks like you'd need like some jig thing to just go clunk, and yeah, the whole thing would basically fall apart, which would be pretty cool. If you had such an item. Ooh. This is the Volvo PEM, is what it's called, for the S60. This is basically the fuel pump electronic control module or something like that. That's what it does. And I can hear all the debris inside here. So I'm just taking this apart just for the ever-loving heck of it. Do not anticipate getting this back together, like, ever. Once it starts to move, looks like it just goes. Wow, look at that. The rubber seal looks like it's intact, but still corroded to all heck. What's going on with Ken? Dog, hey, how do I break? Dog, I can't help you, sorry. Just to show you how expensive it really for pizza. $120 with tip, wow. T20, T15, T15 Torx. Nope. Literally, the head just fell off the screw for the board here. I'm most definitely not getting this back together. Ah. Okay, so it's all soldered down anyway. But all this is corroded under here. I can't imagine that's good for electronics. So, good thing I replaced it. Alright, I'm going to go outside and talk to Ed, see what he's doing. All right, I can't go. I was gonna bring it outside, but you know. To Longhorn Steakhouse, $175. Yikes. Yeah, I know all this. The money that we spend on food out is crazy, huh? All right. Let's just go in the garbage. Goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, better. I feel better about that. 8 people now. Ed's coming over, guys. I can't. I'm not gonna take you outside with Ed. It would be cool, but I gotta go meet him outside. So I will talk to you guys later. Okay. Everybody, thanks for hanging out this morning, helping me clean up. Gave me some ambition to have some floor space here. And yeah, that's pretty much the way that it is. So, everybody, thanks very much. Be safe. Take care. If I go live, obviously, you guys have got the notification. If we hang out later, that'd be great. I just don't know when. So, we'll talk soon. Have a good night, guys. Bye.